All right, all right, all right. Thanks for joining us here on the Vendor's Edge podcast. Today, we're going to be talking about 10 habits that successful market vendors have. These 10 habits are crucially important to have, to develop, to nurture and grow. These 10 habits are going to set you up on a successful path to increase your sales, to grow your brand, to grow your customers, and to help you market your business and your products better. These habits are really the cornerstone of vendor success. And they're habits that each and every one of you can develop, nurture, and grow. It's super possible that you can accomplish these 10 habits. And if you want to be successful, you definitely want to develop these habits, because when you look across the landscape at farmers markets, at craft festivals, craft shows, pop-up events, and just one-off annual festivals, the vendors that typically are successful apply these 10 habits, or the majority of these 10 habits. I'm Bill Davenport with Anchored Market Ventures. We do local farmers markets in the Florida Panhandle and pop-up events in the area. We're also your number one source for vendor knowledge and empowerment. You can follow us at www.anchoredmarketventures.com. We'd love to have you join us, sign up for our newsletter, stay connected, and come check us out at the markets. But jumping into the 10 habits, really consistency and preparation is our first habit. Vendors that are consistent in their preparation, getting ready for their event, typically are more successful than vendors that don't have a good preparation game plan. It's really important to prep before your event. That can be weeks before, so that you're creating products, that you're planning and harvesting products, that you have the right amount of animals being processed, that whatever it is that you do, you have a plan leading up to the event. You want to have a checklist made that goes over things that you need to prepare. That checklist can be inventory, to make sure that you have the proper levels of inventory ready and packed up, that you have the proper setup material for your booth all packed away, that you have your proper items needed to accept your payments, like your Square reader, your Clove reader, whatever payment program that you use. You have all the appropriate products for that, that you have backup supplies, that you have a miscellaneous kit supply with like your zip ties, extra pins, markers, tape, index cards, whatever it is that you use at your event. You want to have a miscellaneous box set up for, oh, by the ways that happen. It really is important to have a list. I can tell you, for running farmers markets, when it comes to preparation, I am almost to the point of OCD when it comes to, I got to have all of our products, whether it's our tents, our tables, our extension cords, our generators, our chairs, our signage, our flags, our different connectors, anything that we use for the farmers market. I prep and make sure that our market trailer is packed, and it's packed in a very systematic way, so that I can go from A, B, C, D all the way around, and I'll notice right away that something's not in place, that something's missing, that I need to plus up on something. But I have a checklist that goes all the way through, all the way down to we have a parts bin for so in case one of our tents that we rent out breaks, we have parts on site that we can fix it right there, um, either on the spot or after the market if we're able to get a quick fix in place. We can fix other vendors' tents in case they have a mishap. We can get them up and going so that their day isn't impacted because of a broke tent or something along that line. We have a medical kit with um, basic bumps and owies and headache stuff. We make sure that is where it's supposed to be and that is properly stocked. But we have a checklist, and it makes our market day go smooth. And we know that we're starting the market off on the right foot because everything is where it's supposed to be. Everything is on hand. And it really is the exception when something comes up that we don't have it. And that's how you need to be as a vendor. You need to have a checklist, you need to have a system so that the night before, the day before your event, you're packing up and you know you have A through Z packed, staged, loaded, and ready to go so that when you get to your event, you're starting on your best foot forward and you're not struggling because you didn't follow a checklist and you weren't prepared, and now you're thrown off because something got missed or something got left behind or you didn't bring all of the things that you needed to bring. So being consistent in your preparation and your approach to your events is a habit that successful vendors have and is something that you can easily develop. The second habit is professionalism. And honestly, professionalism can arguably be the number one habit as a vendor you need to develop. Your demeanor impacts how customers perceive you, and it also impacts your sales. And professionalism is so much more than your demeanor and how you're perceived. Professionalism is how your booth looks. Do you have a professional looking banner? Do you have signs? Do you have prices on your products that are easily viewable? You don't want to hide your prices. Do you have clean table skirts? Is your logo or your brand read easily displayed? Um, is there a good flow to your booth? Is your packaging in alignment with your brand? All of that stuff goes to professionalism. And also how you interact with customers is part of your professionalism. You need to be able to take positive feedback from customers as well as negative feedback from customers graciously. And taking that feedback graciously is going to be the difference of that customer coming back to you, that customer giving good feedback to their family and friends and on their social media sites, or never coming back to you and leaving a negative review with their friends and family and on their social media. So professionalism is really where it all starts. It's the overall image of you, your products, your brand being clean, not having a cluttered mess in your booth. And it's really important. Appearance, booth cleanliness, all of that reinforces professionalism. So definitely if you're one that has kind of a stiff, rigid, not easily approachable demeanor to you, that doesn't mean that you're not a great person. What it means is you have to take a good look at you and realize that I got to work on softening my demeanor a little bit so that I'm more approachable, so that customers look at me in a way that I can that customers can go into your booth, that they can ask questions, that they it's just an overall you feel you look approachable. If you look like you're always upset, if you look angry all the time, work on those demeanors, that face of not looking angry and not looking so upset. It also leads to don't look like you just put your clothes on that were crumbled up on the floor. You don't want to look like a wrinkle bomb went off. You want to have nice, presentable clothes, maybe a logo on your shirt. None of that's required, but you want to look presentable and clean. And when you have a high expectation or a high standard for your professionalism, that's going to increase your sales. It's going to increase customers coming in into your booth, and it's going to be a positive thing for your brand to help you and your business grow. The third habit is having a consumer centric mindset. We should be super consumer centric when it comes to selling at markets, shows, festivals, pop up events. A lot of times, as vendors, we get into what we're doing because we love this product, or I love making this. And if I make this and I love it, then everybody else is going to love it too. And to a certain extent, that is very true. But customers typically purchase stuff because it solves a problem, it fills a need. Um, it's something that a friend or family has a need for or a want for. So when we become consumer centric, we go from I think this is the best to I have a great product. Let me be an active listener with the customer, and then I can gently guide them to why my product is what they're looking for, or why my product will fix their problem or fill their need. You can also become consumer centric through loyalty programs. You can create newsletters that go directly to your customer base, and you can talk directly to the customers that are following and supporting you and telling them about early deals, upcoming products before everybody else knows about it. And that's putting your customers first. You're saying, hey, just to let you guys know, at this event, I am going to have this, and I'm letting you guys know early. But the week of the event, I'm going to let everybody know. Maybe you can put some pre orders in and pick them up at that event. Or hey, just for my customers, I'm letting you know during a week ahead of time, we're running 25% off on these two products. But you can create a loyalty program, do newsletters to stay connected to just your customer base. But you want to think about ways of putting the customer first. When you have a customer centric mindset, it's going to increase sales. It's going to build those super customers, those super loyal customers that will follow you anywhere. And they'll also advertise for you and put your products and where you're going to be out to other people that you might not have been able to reach. The fourth habit that super successful vendors have is they create eye-catching booth displays. And that's from top to bottom on how they present their business, themselves, and their display and their products are displayed at their event. We talk constantly because it's crucially important about depth, texture, and height. You want to raise stuff up so that it's in eyesight with customers. The lower you have stuff, um, or if you keep everything low, that's not good. You want to raise stuff up. When you raise stuff up, that helps give you texture across your display. Depth, you want to have stuff that kind of goes back. It can even be on a table. You can have stuff low, medium, high. There's a lot of different ways you can create depth and texture in your booth. You want to have a good flow so that customers are easily able to come into your booth and shop and look and interact with you. You want to have colors in your booth that match your business colors. You want to have good signage. You want to have your tent or your booth high enough so people aren't having to duck underneath, because that is a deterrent to customers coming in. But that your booth display should always be good, clean, neat, have the texture, depth, and height to it, but you want to have it eye catching so that folks feel invited to come in and shop. Vendors that are successful don't just throw their booth up and think that it's good to go. They're constantly tweaking, adjusting, rearranging, trying stuff out. They also know that a booth display that was super successful at one event might not necessarily be the same booth display that's needed to be successful at another event. It's just the clientele that's there maybe comes into a booth differently. You can observe that. And what you start, how you set your booth up at the beginning of a market, you can change it throughout the market. If you notice people are walking by and not coming into your booth, change it up. That little change that you make during the market might be the difference of salvaging that event and getting people to come in and purchase from you instead of you sit at a market and realize everybody walked by my booth today and instead of saying, oh, it wasn't that great, it just wasn't my day, people didn't come in, it could have been one or two minor changes you made inside your booth that made all the difference to get folks to come in. So really work on having an eye-catching and inviting booth display. The fifth habit that you want to work on is creating a strong networking skill set. And you do that through communication with other vendors, through communicating with event organizers, communicating with local businesses, and communicating with your customers that come in. You never know who's going to be able to open a door and get you through a door that opens up opportunities for you, your business, and your products. So that's where having good communication skills, you can work on it, being a good active listener, because if you listen to the other vendors, to your customers, to your event organizers, that'll allow you to be able to ask questions that are going to allow you to network. With networking, that leads to collaborations and referrals. And collaborations and referrals are huge for vendors at markets and events. You may not reap the reward at that actual event, but when you collaborate and you get referrals from folks, you're opening your customer base or your products and your business to a new customer base from the folks that you're doing collaborations with and you're doing referrals or who are giving you referrals. And the hurdle for you to build that trust has been lowered because the folks that you're collaborating with and the folks that are giving you referrals, they already have the trust of the folks that they're referring you to. So you by essence have that trust too because they're vouching for you. So really work on your networking skills. You want to have strong networking skills. You want to always be uh having conversations. You want to work on long-term goals. You want to be able to communicate those well. You always want to have that 30-second elevator pitch that's not too pushy, but it hits all the strong points of you, your products, what's important about your products, the benefits of your products, and where you see yourself going. All of that helps you with your collaborations and it helps with folks being able to refer you. The sixth habit is continuous learning. We should always strive to be students. That doesn't mean that you can't rise up and be a teacher too, but even the best teachers are students. You want to look at podcasts, online courses, vendor workshops, books. There's a lot of different ways you can continue learning about your products, about the business niche that you're in, about different types of markets that you sell at, about retail, about business, finance. There's all different facets of knowledge out there that apply to your business, but you always want to keep learning. And that helps you keep ahead of trends for your products, ahead of trends that customers are trending to. It helps keep you ahead of your customers' preferences. I can tell you, as a farmer's market manager running farmers markets, there's not a day that goes by that I don't read something, watch something, ask questions about to my peers in the farmers market realm so that I am constantly learning. I want to create the best market space for our local entrepreneurs and the best market space for our community to come and connect with local entrepreneurs, whether it's farmers, growers, producers, makers, crafters, artists. I can't create that if I'm not learning. And while I'm learning stuff that is applicable to vendors, and I can put that information out so that you're more successful or to help give you tools to help become more successful at not only our events, but other events that you do. So always learn. It helps you stay ahead of trends. It helps you understand what your customers want. You can be a trendsetter. You can bring stuff into your region or your city first before other people's do. That gives you instant credibility. It gives you a leg up on the competition. But successful vendors never stop learning. That's something that's easy to do. You don't have to put a lot of time to it. You can do 15 minutes a day, 15 minutes every other day, but always strive to learn something new about your products, your business, your customers, and your markets, and you will definitely be setting yourself up for success. The seventh habit is smart financial management. This is something from working in the market realm that I see probably affects more people than just about anything else. When I ask vendors, "Are you a business or a hobby?" The answer is either I am a business or I want to be a business. You have to run your financials as a business. If you are a business and you are running your financials as this is a hobby, you are setting yourself up for failure. You need to be tracking your expenses, you need to be tracking your sales, your profits, you need to be tracking event performances, your inventory on what you sell, the inventory on that you bring, your gas, hardware that's involved. You need to be tracking all of that. And I would even recommend you should look at some sort of program to help you track that so that at the end of the year, it helps you with your taxes. We use Wave accounting. I'll put that down in the description. I highly recommend it. It's a great program. And for us, we can track everything in Wave, our expenditures, our costs, our gas, mileage, everything. And then at the end of the year, we can print a report from that, and our tax accountant can use that and use that information to help us in the best possible way. But if we were doing this as a hobbyist, sometimes we think, well, this isn't a business, so we're not going to track these expenses, and you don't know where your money's going. You don't know where the trends are, what markets were great, what was bad, what other events were going on that affected that market. But successful vendors are smart financial managers. They track their expenses down to the penny, and if you're not, you need to be. So, the seventh habit that successful vendors have is they're smart financial managers. It's something that's easy to do. It takes a little bit of practice. You can set reminders on your phone or on your computer to make sure, hey, I need to go in and do this, but find a way to become successful and smart about managing your financials, and you will see your sales grow, your business prosper, and your overall success rise. The eighth habit that successful vendors have is they're effective marketers. They're effective at marketing. Social media is a powerful tool. We're in a day and age where social media is the number one spot where people go to market their products, their brands, their events. And if you're not doing that, you need to do that. And you need to look at how to do that effectively. YouTube is an amazing platform for knowledge to go and search. If you don't know how to effectively market on whatever social media platform you're on, you can type in how to effectively market on Facebook, how to effectively market on Instagram. Whatever platform you're on, you can find it. And there's probably 500,000 videos on each one of those at a minimum on YouTube. Spend a little bit of time and start putting some of those into practice, and your marketing will improve and your customer base will grow along with your sales. But if you're not marketing, then honestly, you're wrong. You need to be effectively marketing. It helps create buzz and excitement around your products, around you, around your events. You can throw out promotions or exclusive offers through your marketing so that folks can see it and come and support you. But effective marketing is a game changer. It's required basically. You can't rely on just the event drawing the foot traffic in and then you being successful. It happens sometimes, but you can't leave it to chance. You got to start marketing and building that brand and awareness of your products. So if you're not on social media, one tip I will give is don't do your business through your personal account on whatever social media platform you're on. If you have a Facebook account and your name is John Doe, don't do your business through John Doe's account. It's free, it's easy. Create a business page. So John Doe's Delicious Donuts, that's the business page. You make all your business posts on John Doe's Delicious Donuts page. And then you share and you put everything out. You can share this post from John Doe's Delicious Donuts on John Doe's page, but it was created on your business page. When other people share, they're sharing John Doe's Delicious Donuts page's post, and it's bringing people to your business. So separate the two. Don't do business on your personal page, do it on your business page, and that's going to benefit you in the long run. Another effective habit, or the ninth effective habit that successful vendors have, is adaptability. They're adaptable, they're flexible to anything that comes up. We all know somebody that it could be the smallest of wrenches being thrown into their daily operations and it just ruins them for the day. You don't want to be that person. Successful people are adaptive and flexible, and they learn how to minimize those uh, unplanned events, and they can pivot and adjust from them quickly and not let it ruin their event. When you show up to a market or to an event, there's always the possibility of something going wrong, whether that's weather, the foot traffic just isn't what was anticipated. There might have been an accident nearby blocking traffic. There's a whole lot of things that can happen that weren't planned for, but your ability to adjust to it is going to be the difference between being successful and that day just being a failure. On the days that the foot traffic's not the same or not to the level that you thought it should be, use those days to network with vendors. On the customers that do come to you, you have a little bit more time to spend with them and build those loyal customers to be a little bit more of an active listener. You can network, you can work on maybe some marketing plans that you're going to put into effect uh, once the market's over. You can use that downtime to do a live, to do a little bit of on the spot marketing and promotion. But don't let things that come up ruin your market or your event. Be adaptable, be flexible, and this also pivots back to um, the first habit of being prepared, being uh, having a game plan in place. The more prepared you are, the less likely that when stuff comes up, it's going to ruin your day. So adaptability, flexibility, super important. Something we all can work on. It's not always easy, but the more we can minimize the impacts that unplanned stuff affects us, the better we're going to be, and the better our business and our sales will be. And then the 10th habit that successful vendors have is they have a passion, and that passion leads to resiliency about what they do, what they produce, what they grow, what they harvest, what they make. Staying motivated and loving what you do, having that passion, that helps keep you motivated to achieve your long-term goals. Having that passion, that fire, it also helps you bounce back from those slow days. It helps you, again, be adaptive and flexible, but it really sets you up for in the best position to be successful. Passion is important, resiliency is important, and it's a habit that you have got to nurture, that you've got to continuously uh, put some time and effort into. But passion is so important to be successful at markets, events, and pop-ups that you attend. For me, I'm super passionate about farmers markets and local events. I am passionate about bridging farmers, makers, growers, producers, crafters, artists to the local community. To me, that is critically important, and it's something that I have a huge passion for. I think we're in a day and age where we're so disconnected from how our products are made, how they're grown, how they're manufactured, from the people that make it, the mom and pop businesses, and I think farmers markets are an incredible leap forward to bridging that gap. I also think farmers markets are an incredible entrepreneur incubator where folks, it's a low barrier to entry, but it gets you out to a lot of people, and it also gets a lot of people in a position to give you feedback about your products, the good, the bad, the ugly. I love that. I love hearing the success stories. I love hearing the not so successful stories and maybe being able to guide that vendor to a resource to help make them successful or to another vendor that can mentor them. That is where my passion is. So I stoke that. Again, the education helps stoke that fire. Doing it helps stoke that fire. But being 100% transparent and honest, not every market day do I wake up and I'm like, "Rah, rah, rah." I have to stoke that fire sometimes myself. I have to be my own biggest cheerleader. I recognize that some days I wake up and my body hurts from 20 years of being in the military, and I'm like, "Oh, I just wanna crawl back into bed instead of going and setting up a farmer's market." But I quickly remember why I do this. And I love the people that are at the markets. I love 100% of the vendors that are out there. I love seeing the customers come out and be happy because they're at a modern day town square. So stoke that passion. It's going to help keep you motivated. It's going to help keep you resilient and adaptable, but it's a habit that you got to put some effort into, and it's going to make you successful, and it's going to make your business that much more stronger and able to weather the storms that may come over the horizon and keep you going forward. I'll tell you, those 10 habits, you may not have all of them, you may have some of them. They're all something we can work on, including myself, but we need to put effort into them. If you want to be successful and you want to grow a business out of what you do, you got to have these 10 habits in some way, shape, or form. You got to put time and effort into them, constantly refine them, be honest with yourself. But I want to hear back from you. Which one of these habits do you already practice? Which ones do you know right off the bat? These are habits that I practice and I get good positive feedback from. And I also want to know which one of these habits you're going to commit to. Um, which ones are you going to commit to first and work on? And then maybe what's your order? I know these three habits I'm not doing. I'm going to work on my professionalism first. I'm going to work on my booth display second. I'm going to work on my financials third. All of it builds on all of these habits build on each other. But I'd love to hear which ones you're already practicing, which ones you're committing yourself, even this coming week to practicing and committing to. But let me hear your thoughts, your stories on how these habits apply to you. Um, Let us know what your social media sites are. If you leave us a comment, let us know what your business is. We'd love to go check it out. We'd love to see you. But as always, I'm Bill Davenport with Anchored Market Ventures, your number one source for vendor knowledge and empowerment. You're joining us here on the Vendor's Ed podcast, and we can't wait to see you guys out at the next market.